Hi, and welcome to Cenario, your partner in mental wellness. Here on our channel, we share educational, insightful, and science-backed content to help you understand your mental health and take meaningful steps toward a more balanced life. If you're ready to learn, grow, and take control of your wellness journey, let's jump right in.
You ever walk into a room and just feel it? That wave of anxiety, that sudden, gut-wrenching certainty that everyone there just dislikes you? It is an absolutely awful feeling. And in this explainer, we're going to get to the very heart of why it happens. I mean, look at this question. This is something so many of us have typed into a search bar, or maybe just whispered to ourselves when we can't sleep. And if you've ever felt this, I really want you to hear this. You are so not alone. It's a really common human experience, and today we're going to unpack it. Okay, so the very first and most important thing we need to wrap our heads around is this. That powerful sensation, it's usually just that, a feeling. It's a story your mind is telling you, a story that's being shaped by your own internal patterns, not necessarily by what's actually happening out there in the real world. So why is this feeling so convincing, right? Why does it feel so real? Well, it's kind of like a perfect storm. See, your mind loves taking shortcuts. Psychologists have a name for them, cognitive distortions. And these shortcuts bend reality to fit your fears. Then you layer on top of that some real mental health conditions like social anxiety or depression. And you throw in the messiness of our modern digital life, and boom, you've got a feeling that's just impossible to shake. So let's get into it. Let's look at these specific thinking traps, these cognitive distortions that our brains just love to fall into. Honestly, just being able to spot them when they're happening is the first giant step to taking their power away. First up is a big one, personalization. This is the trap of making everything about you. So someone glances at their phone while you're talking. Now, a neutral thought might be, oh, they probably got an important text. But with personalization, your brain immediately jumps to, they think I'm boring, they hate me. It takes a totally neutral event and makes you the bad guy in the story. And then we've got mind reading. Oh man, this one's a classic. This is when you're just convinced you know what's going on in someone else's head. And it's never anything good, is it? The group chat goes quiet for an hour and you don't just wonder why. No, you know. You know it's because of that thing you said, and now they're all in a different chat talking about you. You're just filling in all the empty space with your biggest fears. Next up, there's fortune telling. This is where you look into your crystal ball and predict the future, and the future is always bleak. You decide that party is going to be a total disaster before you even think about what to wear. You just know you'll be awkward, you'll stand in a corner, nobody will talk to you. And what's crazy is, it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? Because you go in expecting failure, so you're all anxious and closed off, which makes that bad outcome way more likely. And finally, we have a real classic. All or nothing thinking. This is pure black and white logic. No gray areas allowed. You could have 10 amazing fun conversations at an event, but if you have just one slightly awkward exchange, your brain slams down the gavel and declares the whole night a total failure. It's like it just deletes all the good stuff and magnifies that one perceived mistake. Now, of course, these thinking traps don't happen in a bubble. Our modern world can often feel like a giant amplifier for these exact anxieties. And what's really fascinating is when you put them side by side like this. In person, we're swimming in data, right? We get tone of voice, body language, instant feedback. But online, we're left with so much ambiguity. A delayed reply, what does that mean? A post with no context. Curated feeds that make us compare our real lives to someone else's highlight reel. And of course, public metrics like likes that feel like a grade on our social life. This digital void is the perfect breeding ground for our minds to start mind reading and personalizing everything. And yeah, of course, other things are at play here. If you already have low self-esteem, you're kind of primed to expect rejection. If you're a highly sensitive person, you feel those social cues much more deeply. Something like ADHD can even come with what's called rejection-sensitive dysphoria, which is this extreme emotional pain from even a small perceived slight. And look, even just being tired or stressed or stuck in a genuinely critical group of people, all of it can lower your defenses and make you way more vulnerable to that feeling. Okay, so we get the problem. We see the thinking traps. We see the modern day triggers. Now for the good part. How do we start to fight back? Let's get into some really practical, evidence-based things you can do to start taking back control. All right, this next one is a powerhouse technique. It comes straight from cognitive behavioral therapy, and it's basically like becoming a detective for your own mind. Here's how it works. First, you write down that really intense thought, that hot thought, like everyone at work hates me. Then, you play lawyer. On one side of the paper, you list every single piece of objective, factual evidence you have for that belief. And the keyword is objective. Your feelings are real, but they don't count as evidence here. Then, on the other side, you list all the evidence against it. A coworker smiled at you. Someone asked about your weekend. Finally, you look at both lists, and you search for a more balanced, more realistic explanation. And this is the whole point, right here. The goal isn't to lie to yourself or force some kind of toxic positivity. It's about recognizing that your feelings, as powerful as they are not facts. The goal is to weigh the real evidence and move away from that chaotic, all-or-nothing thinking toward a conclusion that's actually balanced and fair. Now, challenging thoughts in the moment is huge, but we can also play the long game. So let's talk about some small, daily habits you can build to boost your emotional resilience, which will make you less reactive to these feelings in the first place. Look, I know these might seem really basic, but they are the absolute foundation. You have to stabilize your body to stabilize your mind. So, prioritize sleep, get some movement, eat regular meals. Actively fight that digital ambiguity by limiting your social media time and scheduling quick, positive check-ins with friends to get some real data about your connections. I love this idea of a worry window. You give your anxiety 15 dedicated minutes to go wild so it doesn't hijack your whole day. And finally, actively practice self-compassion. Just noting 3 small things you did well can literally start to rewire your brain to look for the good. You know, it can also really help to reframe the pain itself. Think about it. For our ancient ancestors, being kicked out of the tribe was a literal death sentence. So our brains evolved to treat social rejection with the same piercing alarm bells as actual physical danger. When you feel that sting, try to remember, that's just an ancient survival alarm going off. It's a feature of your biology, not a flaw in your character. So the crucial point really is this. You don't have to fix this whole thing overnight. The way out of this feeling is built one small, consistent step at a time. The only goal is to start chipping away at that big, scary belief. So I'll leave you with this question. After all of this, what's one small step you can take today? Will it be testing just one thought, sending one text to a friend, or maybe just taking 5 deep breaths? Your journey to a more peaceful, balanced social life starts right now. What's your first step going to be?
Thank you for watching Cenario. If this video helped you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. For personalized mental wellness supplements, visit Cenario.com. See you in the next one.